There was just something about her.
She was special. I did tell Meagan the day she was diagnosed, she asked me if she was going to die. I said, I don't know if you're going to die or not. I said, but if God needs you more than I need you, then he's going to get you. And I told her that the day she left.
Yeah.
She was a blessing from day one.
Okay. We're here with Nick and Betty Connor. Miss you, Connor, correct? We covered that in just a video just before about the French side, which I think is cool, really cool. I made a video. I've walked around Loris, and I walk around at night. One of the reasons is I can avoid traffic, and we can walk out into the street, and we get such a better shot of the business instead of have to run back and forth because of the cars and the noise. One thing in movies and all that, the most important thing in a movie, technically, is sound. It's because if you have bad sound, you can't watch it. They use sound as a torture device, like CIA and all that, high-pitched sound.
Really?
Oh, yeah. So bad picture you can kind of adjust for, bad acting a little bit, bad story. But if there's a hiss or a buzz or something, it makes you a little screwy.
Sense,
yeah. So that's why we do it at night. But I was going down South Main Street in Loris, and I filmed the butterfly mural. And I knew that Shorty's Grill had a lot to do with it. I didn't know the story, and Betty reached out to us online and said, I would love to tell you Meagan's story. And that was, Betty is Meagan's mother, and Nick is Meagan's brother. And so that's how we came about this story, but I want to get into that. First, though, I would like to know a little bit about your life when you were growing up, who you were. From a child, just a little bit, and you met your husband, which you recently lost also. So you've been through quite a bit of tragedy. Yeah. Your father, same.
Yes, sir.
But if I could know a little bit about who Betty Miss You was before she became Betty Miss You Connor, and then a little bit about Nick Connor growing up, okay?
Betty was a different girl than I am now. I was a real stubborn, knew what I wanted to do. Nobody couldn't tell me what to do. And I met Shorty in the 5th grade. And he said he would sit at Daisy Elementary School every morning to look at my mother, not me. So anyway, we start. I mean, I was just I wouldn't listen. I wouldn't do nothing. I was just a hellion that he couldn't do nothing with. And so we dated right on until we got married, but he molded me into what he wanted me to be, and that was a good person. He was a great person. He didn't have no animosity in his heart. He was not ugly, never spoke. I've never heard him speak ill of anyone in my whole life. And if I did, he would get upset with me. So since he's died, I think I'm returning back to that person, and I don't want to be that person again. I don't know. It's
That's
weird.
Not a bad person.
It's not. I weren't bad, but I wouldn't do nothing nobody want me to do. I won't now. So, but I grew up on a farm. We came to Loris every Saturday afternoon. That's the only time you came to town. Was one day a week. My daddy was a farmer. We would sit in the back of rows in tubs at the end of the rows to keep cool, my brother and I. And we had a good life. My daddy was a good man too, and he didn't bother anybody, and we stayed to ourselves. When I came to Loris with Shorty, when he had bought the grill in '79 is when we bought it. And I was like, whew, because hadn't been around all that many people that I had to appease every day. I mean, I had to appease them. I mean, that was a must. I had to be nice and kind and smile and do and do and do. I mean, it was no, if I didn't, I got chastised when I got home. So anyway, I don't miss that part of being molded. I'd rather be me. And I'm not a bad person, but I'm just real headstrong. And but during my growing up years, I worked, and my dad died when I was 17, and I put myself through college. I worked in Calabash all my life with a lot of great people that have come back in my life. I don't know. I just had a good life. I didn't want to leave.
Right. What did you do in Calabash?
Waitress.
Waitress at.
I was first at Ivy Highs on the corner where that Italian Grapevine is now, and then I went to Dockside with NC Goss, and I stayed there many years, and then on to White Point in North Myrtle Beach, Rambling.
Right.
But yeah, I waitressed all my life. Made a lot of money in the 70s. Yeah.
Tips were good back then.
Oh no, 50 cents.
Yeah, but
That's
But
good
they only made $3 an hour. The cooks made $3 an hour.
Yeah.
So in comparison, and they did, the tax wasn't there on the tips.
You said you heard her say she put herself through college.
Yeah.
That did pretty good.
I waited tables in Myrtle Beach in the 80s, so it was good.
Yeah.
But it was the volume of people we had
yeah.
to wait on. When you left there at night, you knew you had worked. Because
Yes.
imagine going home with $100 in your pocket in the 70s, 50 cents and $1 a table if you were lucky. I mean,
Yep.
it was hard work, but I loved it. I loved people then. I don't know why I went into panic attack when I had to. I think it was the rules.
Well, and maybe it's because like you became married, right? So you're
Yeah.
hitched, what they call hitched.
Yeah.
You're attached. You're attached to that restaurant. You can't leave and go get another job. You are the restaurant.
Yeah.
So if you screw up or get mad at someone, it's like now I'm going to sink the ship
Oh,
that I'm on.
They screwed up a lot.
But it's did you ever work for a person up there, Prices?
That's who I worked for. It was NC Goss, but he was renting it from the Prices.
Okay.
And Gail and Troy Goss they've just recently, I think, sold it recently.
Well, I'm friends with Michael Price. Now, he used to be the finance director in Myrtle Beach.
Oh, okay.
And he moved back to Calabash. Now I think
That's probably Troy's brother.
he's the town manager now. I think.
Oh, okay.
I don't take my word for that, but I think that's what. And we're going to go up and talk to him soon. But anyway, Michael Price, he was a great guy. So if his family was anything like him, great people.
Yeah, when Troy was more in the restaurant than.
Okay.
I believe Michael was a brother. If I can remember correctly, I believe so. But
Okay, so you were living in Loris and driving to Calabash.
every-
That was a hike
yeah,
back then. What kind of car did you have?
I had a brand new Toyota Celica.
Okay, well you were good, so you weren't
Yeah.
going to break down. So
Yeah, and then gas went up from 19 cent to 39 cent, and our mothers made us start carpooling, which was a bad idea, and I won't get into that. But when I got home that night, I said, "Now, do you want me to still carpool, or would you like for me to drive my own car?" She said, "I think you need to drive."
now this was prior to college.
Yeah.
And during college.
Yeah, this was during high school and during college. Yeah.
Okay. And what did you go to college for?
I went into nursing, and I just didn't feel like I was good enough. I was passing and doing okay, but I just didn't feel like I was doing what my heart was telling me to do. And I changed and went into psychology and special education, and I loved it. And I was planning on working with special needs, and I went to get my master's degree. I got pregnant with him, and
Up at Shorty's Grill.
ended up at Shorty's Grill. So I was like so upset because I said I didn't want to do this the rest of my life, and I wanted to do something I wanted to do. But then Shorty got up with Karen Hilburn, was at Loris High School then with special needs classes. So they brought them and let them work at the grill a couple hours a day. So I got to be able to experience that.
So you could mentor them.
Yes.
So you're getting a little
Yes.
bit of what you wanted to do.
Yeah.
Only with a busier atmosphere.
Yeah, but they were
So-
still great.
So now you've married Shorty at what age?
I was 21, I think. But it was right when I graduated in 79. We got married in November. I graduated in December.
Okay.
So,
All right.
Yeah.
I'm going to have you turn the microphone just a little bit towards your mouth a little more. Just tilt it. Bring it in a little bit the other way. There you go. A little more.
Okay.
Right
is that good?
there. That's perfect.
Okay.
And then we'll start. So you got married when you were 21.
Yeah.
And when you got married, you graduated. Did you did Shorty already have the grill at that point, or
We bought it all in the same spin around. It was like
so this is a big hurricane event inside
yes,
this short
yes,
period of time?
very much so. It was
And then you got pregnant.
2 years later.
2 years,
I didn't
okay.
have him until I was 23.
Okay.
So
But this is you're getting married. You're not going in the career you're going to. You're ended up in the restaurant. Now, was Shorty's Grill in operation at that time?
yes, it was Loris Lunch and Pool Room,
Okay.
and a lot of women didn't go in there. It was more of a pool hall style thing.
Okay.
And I told him, I said, I'm not staying up here all day and not seeing any females. I want to see some females. So we made different arrangements. We renovated some, and of course eventually changed the name of it to Shorty's.
Made it more family oriented.
Yeah.
Right. Now, did it have alcohol at that time with the
No,
pool
we've
hall?
never had alcohol.
Okay, there was no alcohol in Loris.
He
at that-
promised the lady
in the
we
restaurant?
bought it from that he had worked for since he was like 9 that he would never sell alcohol, and he would be mad if somebody started selling alcohol. So, but I mean, Nicholas didn't promise that. It was him, and I
Right.
don't think that. But let me back up some now. I got mixed up with the thing. I graduated college, took a break, went back to graduate school, and then I got pregnant. I only lacked like 8 hours in my master's. I just couldn't make it anymore being pregnant. I just couldn't. It was awful. And I couldn't. I had to sleep all the time when I got home. So
Well, he's a big boy.
yeah.
Yeah. So it's gonna take some energy.
Yeah, he's taking
have
a
him.
lot of
Energy.
energy off my life.
So Nick, how do you feel about ruining your mom's career? I mean, I'm just.
I think it worked out pretty good. I don't know.
Okay. No.
We still here talking about it.
Yeah, and you're all laughing, so it's
Yeah,
good.
Yeah.
So, you're born. What's your earliest memory? What years? How old were you? Of your earliest memories?
And don't recall me to this, but I heard several stories that I think, she stayed out of work 2 or 3 weeks. 2 weeks. And then I was set behind the grill in a baby carriage. And that's where I stayed at. And that's about where I've been at, And so I remember being in the grill, I want to say early as 3 or 4 probably. I don't know the correct age, but running around in there, messing with people, shooting
Eating the
pool,
food.
eating people's food. And the people that worked there, a lot of the guys they would just always pick on me in a good way, like, you know what I mean? Because Shorty was so cool with everybody, and you know what I mean? So they felt like I was one of their little brothers or something. And they would go tie me up at the next door beside us, and they would chain me up at the top of the ceiling and just mess with me. You know what I mean?
From rafters.
Yeah, and it was just like, I was like the community baby. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
everybody loved to play with. Which, I mean, I've always enjoyed it. There wasn't nothing bad about it. But and then growing up, when I got a little bit older, I mean, they was you had me, you had Jonathan Skipper, his mother and father owned a fish restaurant, a seafood market. You had Jennifer and DeWitt Elliott, their parents owned a parts store behind us. You had Jessica Brinson, her mother owned the Western Auto, the building you currently have. So there was 4 or 5 of us kids, and all we did, we just ran around town, and everybody took care of us.
They were straight.
The whole community raised us, if that makes any sense,
Yeah,
in a good way. You know what I mean? I would go in Mickey Boone's. Mickey Boone's was right beside us. The Quality Auto Parts. I call it Mickey Boone's because that's what, Well, I would go over there. I'd just go over there and I'd walk behind the cash register and I'd get me $1 out and I'd leave. He didn't care, and just things like that. You know what I mean? So then when I got a little bit older, we all still hung out a lot around town. So then Daddy was more into, you need to be working. You need to be doing a little something. And this is young now. I'm not talking about like standing back there for 10 hours a day, but you need to make some, you need to be doing something. So I had a bicycle, a little BMX bicycle. It was blue. So he put me a big basket on the front of it. And then he would send me out with orders then. And I just carried them around town. Small stuff. Well, then that first time I started doing that, to the best of my knowledge, that spring or fall, I can't remember. It might have been in the wintertime. I can't remember. But Graham Brothers here, they had the tobacco market. And all these guys, I mean, the place would be packed. There would be so many people in there selling tobacco. And whatever they call that auction, and these people would come from all over. I reckon they're backer buyers now that I've gotten a little bit older. But he would send me like with 50 hamburgers and 50 hot dogs. And, when I first got, I was like, what is he doing? So, because I was like, ain't no way we're going to sell that many. When I go down there, it was like 15 minutes, they're gone. And I'm like, wow, that was pretty cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And all these guys that knew him might not have known me that well, but they was all thump you on the ear, give it out, just kind of raising you like old uncles used to do back in the day. You know what I mean? So I'd go back up there and he'd send me with another load. And Jennifer, her and her brother sold lemonade.
Yeah.
Dad lemonade stand.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm not mistaken, Jessica's, I think they done peanuts. It had something, we was always, kind of doing something. And Jonathan's parents had a fish market. And we just kind of grew up here in this town. And everybody was just, they just loved us. You know what I mean? And we loved them. And, we, it was like, I'm pretty sure because you grew up in the same area. Like now you just can't, it's just not really like that anymore. I don't know. And it's sad that it's not like that, And going back, my kids, I try to get my kids to be like that. My oldest son is like that. He was raised up around here, kind of. My baby boy's a little bit different, He's not. He's a great kid, but he's kind of like not as social as Gage is. But going back to after that, I was in, I want to say elementary school. Was it 5th grade or something? 4th grade. The lady I was a teacher with, just to tell you a little bit about my story. Her boyfriend she was dating at the time that I didn't know of until afterwards. He walked into the classroom, big dude. Bald head, he looked like a wrestler. I mean, you know what I mean? Had the old frown face, backer juice, you know what I mean? And I was always a clown because of the way I was raised up around her. You know what I mean? Just trying to be the class clown. You know what I mean? I was in there, and he stood there by her desk for a minute. I don't know if I said something out of the way or was picking on him or something. He said, "Hey, you, come here." And I was like, "Uh-oh." So I was like, okay, I don't know this guy, you know what I mean? And so I walk up there, he said, "Why don't you walk out there to the hall with me a minute?" That's right, you talk like that. And I said, "Yeah, that's fine." Let's go out in the hallway. He's like, "You want to be a water boy for the football team?" And I was like, kind of relieved. I was like, yeah, I'll be the water boy. I thought I was in trouble. So then I started being the water boy. And I would travel with the football team, and I stayed out there 24/7 just about, every day after school. And I really enjoyed it. And then I was around all the old guys, so I was, think you cool. You want to be like the high school kids, you know what I mean? And that's kind of, so I did that till I was old enough to play football.
You never sat in the stands.
I never sat in the stands and watched a football game until I graduated high school.
He asked me if he could start cussing full time when he was about.
Yeah, I'd come home and she was like, "Mom," I was like, "Mom," because
they're all
locker room.
Yeah.
They're 17, 18, 16. You know what I mean? They in there chomping at the bit. I'm thinking to myself, these guys right here this is where it's at.
Cool. Yeah.
So I come home and I was like, you care if I start cussing full time? She's like, "Do what?" So our house was open like that too. If that makes any sense. Mm-hmm. There was a lot of things you had to do. There wasn't a whole lot of rules. We didn't go home every day at 4:00 and eat dinner like a family. We was in the restaurant business. It was kind of like hit and miss. Just kind of did what worked at the time. You know what I mean? But we had a good family. We had a great family. We had a good time. And then when I got old enough after I got there, I've always helped them like in the summer times or out of school or whatever. And my dad was big on working. I know a lot of people don't believe that, but the people that was around here know that. You know what I mean? And that's why I have that drive today. You know what I mean? It's because of that. But they was big on working. So I kind of like butted heads with him over there when it started getting serious. So I was like, you know what? I'll just go do something else as a youngin' now. So I started cutting grass. Well, he would haul me around because I had a license. Then I started working in the back. I like to work. But you know how it is with your dad sometimes.
You're going to clash.
Yeah, you're going to clash sometimes. We were so much alike, you know what I mean? And then after all that was said and done, he kind of went through that phase. I started getting a lot better. And I was like, okay, well, I'm going to hunker down and stay here. Well, 2 or 3 years, I got mad, went to the beach, started cooking at Outback. I'd come back, Finally, I realized, I was like, okay, this is where I need to be at. You know what I mean? So then, but I've been there now since I've been out of high school, and it's been a blessing, man. It's been fun. And I just love the people. I really do. I just like, there ain't nothing I like no better than going there and seeing everybody that you it's like they're almost like your family, because I've been around them since I've been knee high, so, and here I am today, man. I'm back. The past 4 years, I've been back with the football team, doing all the stuff for the football team, and not just because my son was there, but I've enjoyed that. You know what I mean? Like, it brought back a lot of memories in that locker room and riding that bus with them. You know, it's been one good journey, and we made the best record the past 2 years in a row. So it's been awesome. You know, so now I have 2 kids. I got one that's 24 with one baby, and one on the way in March. So
congratulations.
And then thank you. And then my baby boy, he's about to graduate this year, and hopefully he'll pursue his football career, which that's what he's hoping to do. He's one heck of a football player, man. He leads the state in sacks. He's just a little undersized, but hopefully somebody will scoop him. He's got him a couple small offers, but he really wants to go to the Citadel. So I think that'll be a blessing for him, even if he plays football or not. It'll be good for him. The Citadel is just
very disciplined.
They call it 4 for 40. And I was like, 4 for 40, what is that? 4 for 40, that's all I kept hearing. 4 years for 40 more years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like
that's
the military.
your benefit. Yeah, that's your benefit. Yeah. If you can do 4 years, your next 40 years is, I'm not saying great, but you got a platform, you got a network that you can run off of. You know what I mean?
And he doesn't want to go anywhere else.
He don't want to go anywhere else. And we didn't come from a military background. Now, her father was, but our lifestyle wasn't military.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I think he's just looking for that structure a little bit that we didn't provide, like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I mean, not structure like he didn't, you know, he's been a great kid. I couldn't ask for 2 better kids, but maybe that's what he wants to do. I'm all behind him. It don't matter what he wants as long as he keeps his head on straight. Either one of them.
Well, that's what parenting is.
Yeah, yeah.
It sounds like you came up traditional, old school America.
I came up the best way you could, man. I'm telling you, I couldn't ask for no better.
So when you were talking about getting strung up into the rafters and this and that and getting poked at to me, it's like a wolf pack.
Right.
You know, the little pups have to earn their way into that pack. Right. They don't just get a free seat at the front of the table. And today I think a lot of children get that free seat at the head of the table immediately, and then they don't have anything to work for.
And that's our fault.
And but how you grew up was how I grew up.
That's
and
right.
you work constantly, no matter what. And your dad's always putting you to work if you ain't got nothing to do.
And he was always on their side too, not mine.
Yeah.
It was like, you know,
that's the way it used to be.
You know,
but don't you think though that has a better outcome?
A way better outcome, and you know, hindsight's 20/20. You know, I wish I'd have done a little bit. I wouldn't say me for necessarily, but
your
the
kids
world
grew up
in general. The world
they
in general.
grew up in a different time.
The world in general.
You couldn't let them run the streets and not really care where they are until dark.
And another
because
thing,
they'll come up missing. You know, in the last 20 years.
And you can vouch for this. Y'all both can vouch for this. I can vouch for this till I was 19 or 20. Didn't have no telephones, man. This is a big problem. You know what I mean? A big problem. I'm guilty of it myself. I'm not trying to put it on nobody else, but I think we all guilty in some sense of it now, but it's kind of the way of the world. It's 2026, you know?
Yep.
You're like an outcast if you ain't got a telephone. I don't even have Facebook. And I get told all the time, like, how do you live? I'm like, I live pretty good. You know what I mean? I go to work, I go home. You know, I build a fire, I watch football. I mean, you know, but that's kind of my thing. But, you know, I can understand where people say that. You know what I mean?
So he put it all on me. I run 6 pages.
Yeah, I let her run Facebook page.
Well, you do a good job.
6 pages.
We had a party line. You remember them?
Oh, yeah.
Where you had like 6 people on the same.
Them,
yeah, and if you couldn't get through, so we were done with whatever practice you were doing, whatever sport, basketball, football, whatever it was. You couldn't. We lived in the country on a farm. You couldn't get through. You better start hot footing it before it gets too dark.
That's what I've.
And you would walk 4 miles.
And some of those old ladies would stay on it for hours.
Yes.
Wouldn't they?
Yes. And you could get the operator to buzz in if it's an emergency. But if you buzzed in and it's an emergency, and my old man, it wasn't an emergency, like you weren't dying in the hospital, you're going to get it. You'll walk home every night now. Because you interrupted someone's conversation and it wasn't an emergency. You're young enough. That's what your feet are for. Yeah. Get moving.
Real quick, how was the party line, though? It wasn't the dial-up.
Oh, yeah.
So it dialed up like that?
Rotary.
And I remember them phones, but I don't think it was a party line then in my time.
But there was like 6 different lines in one, and everybody could listen to what you said.
Yeah. So all you had to do is pick up the phone and listen, and people were on there listening.
Yeah.
And so you would get like one ring, like ring, and then 5 seconds another ring. The next person on the line would get 2 rings, like ring, 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 and then 3 rings, and that's how you knew where it was going on those 6 people.
Yeah,
but you knew people were listening. You always had the Miss Kravitz. You remember from I forget what show that was. She was always peeking at everybody out the windows and all that. So they would listen to all the conversations. But it was a part of when
that
you
was kind of social media kind of thing.
Yeah, when you grew up, party line was something different. That was 1-900 something.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a party line.
Back in the magazine type deal.
Yeah, those were party lines then. But
I
our party
grew up
lines
with a rotary where
Yeah.
But it was I think it was an actual landline though. Like you could call you directly. There wasn't nobody else on it. You know what I'm saying?
If there was no one else on, it would go directly to the house. But there would be like 6 numbers on one line.
Yeah,
and it'd be like,
I think I missed that part.
Like
though.
6218, 6219,
I
6220.
remember us having a party line.
Yeah, and it's phones were to make a long distance phone call back when I was a child was super expensive, like upwards of $1 a minute or 50 cents a minute. Well, people only made $3 an hour back then, $4 an hour. It was expensive to make a long distance.
Oh,
phone
we would have
call.
got a whipping if we'd have made a long distance.
Yes.
call.
So, I remember one story they made it off as a joke later, but there was a divorce going on. Someone called Japan. You know, they used to have time and temperature. You'd call the bank, and it would tell you the time and temperature back in the 70s, 80s. They called Japan time and just let it rung and left the phone off the hook, and there was like $10,000 phone bill. So let's burn someone. But so it sounds like you grew up good. I know Loris is one of those places that had a great community, still does, but communities have changed. Even the good communities have changed because there's people that you just don't trust children running around anymore. So, and I think that's had a psychological impairment on children because they don't have that freedom to roam. And so they get like the helicopter parents, what we called, you know, and they hover over them, but you have to because they can get snatched. And
and I agree.
You forgot about Miles because he was always up here
Miles.
too.
Yeah, Miles was a good friend of mine all growing up, and
still are. Yeah.
But speaking of that, like you're 100% right about the kids. But I've let my kids kind of more so than a lot of people do, and they seem to find their way good too. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But I've tried to teach them, like, okay, pay attention to this kind of thing. Pay attention to this kind of thing. You know, if you see something like that, you know. But I got 2 boys too now. Mm-hmm. They manly, you know what I mean? They, you know, a little bit, you know. But I still feel like you got to turn them loose a little bit though. Like let them get out there.
Nicholas was a boy.
Your sons can fight now, but when they're 7 or 8, it's a little different ballgame.
Yeah,
but
and I'm just talking about maybe not out there, but in Loris has been a little bit more.
Yeah,
you know, because everybody's still kind. You know, I don't know.
And Nicholas was a Boy Scout too, and he loved it, and he taught them everything they needed to know about living. Boy Scouts were good for him.
Yeah, but
he loved it.
I loved them. Me and Miles was in Boy Scouts together. Me and Miles spent a lot of time together. We was like, if you seen me, you seen Miles. You seen Miles, you seen me. You know what I mean? And then Miles, he did a lot of stuff uptown too because his grandfather owned a drugstore. Mm-hmm. You know, and he was always around too. You know what I mean? But I just remember specifically all of us because we always had like something to sell. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, you know,
you were entrepreneurs.
Yeah,
you were. I mean,
for them.
It sounds like I was going to say your dad was an entrepreneur.
Oh yeah.
And like you said, he trained you to be an entrepreneur, I guess.
Yeah.
And so,
but she's been the brains behind all of it now. She's a.
He was the workforce, and she worked too. I know you work too. You're a hard worker,
yeah,
aren't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Always. I don't mind working now, but I don't have to.
You wait till her shoulder heals up. We're gonna find out about that.
Well, you'll always have that pain now.
Yeah.
Was that Sanford and Son with
I'm
Fred?
gonna
He was
milk
always
this.
having a heart attack when his son would ask him to do something.
But the bog off, they won a trip to Mexico from one of the food groups that we have, vendors, and he said, "Oh, I can't leave the grill on the." I said, "Oh, I got the grill." We had a
great job.
Where'd you go in Mexico?
Cancun.
Cancun?
Yeah, Cancun. It was a trip that we
Did you like
through.
it?
It was okay. It was okay. We didn't get off the resort. That was one of the
Well, it
things.
was free. You can't ask for.
But the resort was awesome. You know,
all inclusive.
All inclusive. You know, they all paid for all of it. You know what I mean? But I'm not a big resort guy, man.
Right.
One day of it is fine. You know, I don't care.
You want to be able to hit the road.
Zip line. I want to fly through the jungle. That's the kind of stuff I like to do. Anytime where else we go, that's how it is. You know what I mean? They're like, can you just calm down and let's just take a vacation? I was like, nah, man. You know, I want to go see what's out here. I want to go to all the local spots. You know, I want to go see. I want to drink their beer. I want to taste their food. You know,
all the local cuisine. We have to do it all. It's like
I don't want to sit by the pool for 8 hours.
Well, that's what life is. I'm more like you. Never have I been on a tour. We'll fly to another country. You just get a car and go.
Right.
You figure it out when you get there.
That's
you know.
And that's
but
my kind of relaxed point.
It's an adventure.
Yeah.
Life is an adventure. You can get in some hairy situations, but still, it's an adventure. So
I'm not adventurous.
That's Heather made a comment the other night. She said, I hadn't had any adventures till I met you. She said, now it's just been one long one.
Yeah.
I was wanting to tell you about Miles. Every time when we're at work, we work at night a lot. We go out of one building, take some tools down to it depends. Like we try to do, like if we're doing certain aspects like sheetrocking,
right.
we try to do them all. So it's all doing with all the same tools. Every time we walk out, I don't think there's a night that we don't walk out and we go, that moon vines is sharp looking. And the drugstore.
Yeah, he's fixed it up a lot of them. It
is a sharp looking store. When you it's something that could go in any city, any big city. It's a sharp looking store.
He did a real good job with that, man, because I remember it back in the day. Nothing was wrong with it, but it was a drugstore. You know what I mean? And you know, he when he built that up or bought that, whatever it was, redone that moon vine and all, and his little archway he done a good job with it. He's really creative too. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And he's done a good job over with his business, man. He's brought that business around for a whole lot, you know. Yep. But yeah, we've had some good times together, man. We camped and we was in Boy Scouts. You know, it was just like, you know. And then he went on to bigger and better things, and he's kind of done like you did. He's been around the world, you know what I mean, and which is great. And then he's come back here. I don't know how long he's been back. Probably 10. I don't know. It's been a while now, but we got back hooked up. You know what I mean? And he's just, you know, it was pretty surreal. You know what I mean? Because he was all in Japan. I can't remember where all he went to. You know what I mean? But man, I just stayed right here, you know.
He's one of my boys too, Miles is.
Yeah.
She's got a bunch of boys. We had a crowd over at my house all the time. You know, it was just four-wheeler dirt bike city. That's what we did. You know what I mean? So it's been fun, man. It's been fun. And I love this town. So
do you like working the grill?
Oh, yeah.
You run it now.
I do run it, and my wife and son help out a tremendous lot, and my staff. We got a really good staff, man. I can't ask for no better. And we're working on keeping the fingers crossed, trying to get something open back up at night, at least a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or something like that. You know what I mean? A few nights a week. You know what I mean? Kind of go in stages. That was something my dad was very upset about when that place closed at night, but it just got where we just couldn't. It just, I don't know, man.
COVID labor,
it was just a lot of stuff. And he was a very smart man, but, you know, he just didn't.
He didn't have an education.
He just didn't understand all that. He just, you know what I mean? It was like a shock to him when all that happened, and you know, we closed the dining room down and was feeding on the outside, but that's just what happened. It ruined, it messed the whole, the whole world up.
It messed the whole world up.
Yeah.
Shorty said, "The heck with this mess! I'm opening my place up." But I said, "You can't because nobody, your workers are here. They're going to all get upset, and nobody wants to come in here." And he just like.
But you know, I think things happen for a reason, man. You know, I really do. They might have been times I would have never spent the last few years. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So that's kind of how I look at it. Sure. Instead of a negative thing, we've brought our business back up a lot since we've closed at night, just in daytime. So you see what I'm saying? That we haven't really lost anything except him, and we got to spend that time with him.
And if you do open at night now, it's going to be even better.
But he wants me to do it. He wants, so I'll be tied up at night.
But I was like that.
Keep it all in the family. Yeah. You know, it just keeps circling, right?
Mm-mm.
I just think things happen for a reason, man.
Yes.
And I think you shouldn't have to push that envelope. You know, if it works, it works. If it don't, if it's supposed to, it'll come back around. Right. That's kind of how I feel. You know what I mean? So, and that was another thing too. I hate to say it on the podcast, but I really don't care. But when I got out of high school, man, I had 3 offers to play football, and decided to be in the wrong people, the wrong direction in life, and I ended up in prison for a couple of years. Which would have never put me where I'm at today. That makes any sense.
Yes.
I wouldn't have had my kids. I wouldn't have spent time with my sister before she died. So that's I think it's just life, man. And you got to bounce the ball the way it takes you sometimes. You know what I mean? It's just how it goes, you know. So,
and you never know what tragedy you avoided.
No, you don't never know. Yeah,
probably
wouldn't have been here.
You know, it could have been an accident. So, I mean, that's the way I think.
You
don't know what could have happened.
And you've been on trips. You've been a lot of places. Mm-hmm. I can tell by talking to you, and I'm pretty sure it's happened to you. It's happened to everybody. You miss your flight. You get a flat tire. Something. I always think instead of, my God,
this is meant to happen.
Hey, let's just chill out a minute. Maybe we need to sit here at exit 170 for an hour. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You know, you don't ever know. That's kind of how I look at it.
I use that excuse all the time because I'm always late.
So that could be an excuse. That could be
I'm always late. I'll stay 2 or 3 hours extra, but I'll be 5 or 10 minutes late. Everybody who knows me knows he's just going to show up 10 minutes late, but he'll be there 2 hours later to doing things. But I always look at that. It's was it meant to, in other words, did God make this happen to keep you from going down this road or down that way?
And if that is the right thing, if it ain't right, then hey,
at least you feel good about it.
Feel good about it.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
And you might as well be positive about things instead of negative because
I just don't think it gets you nowhere, man. It just don't. It doesn't. Don't get you nowhere.
That doesn't mean life doesn't hit you hard.
Nope. And life is way too short to be feeling like that in my eyes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, anyway. So that's my story.
Right. But you like running the grill now? Oh
yeah. I love it, and got a few more things in mind. I don't want to disclose them. Nothing to do here. Right. Just I wanted it to be a surprise.
Well, that's what it's about.
Yeah. So anyway, looking forward to it, and my boys is getting a little bit older now where they can. I know one wants to step in and be a part of everything. You know what I mean? Not that the other don't, but he needs to go get educated. Whatever. You know what I mean? So we'll see. He's got 2 kids now. He's got to do something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's time. It's time. I'll tell you, your sign, the red sign in the back, the Shorty's
neon light.
Yes. Yeah. That is iconic.
Yep.
That's what Shorty wanted done.
It was great. When you drive by there and you see it when it's on, sometimes we'll be leaving here. We'll work. We'll start at like 3:00 in the afternoon. We'll work around until 5 or 6 in the morning. You're opening at that point, 6 o'clock, I think. 5. And so sometimes we've seen the lights that sign on. It was a while ago. I can't remember when it was, but I seen it on.
It's beautiful so it stays on 24/7. We never.
And maybe I don't notice it so much because of the paintings on the windows right now. Right. The stuff on the window. But it is an iconic sign. It's one of those that you would take a picture of to put in a coffee table book. That's that sign.
Well, the next time the windows are clean, and you coming through there now, how about give me a picture?
I will.
If they would open the window shades, Shorty said, you would be able to see it all the time.
Well, we close them at evening time sometimes, just not for that reason, but just habit more so. But when the lights are off on the inside.
And that sign's
popping, it's dark. It's just Dakin Bray or something. It's beautiful, man.
Well, can I tell y'all something funny? And I'm going to tell on Shorty a little bit now because everybody he was very private. He was going to do that neon, and it was a right good bit of money we had to pay for that thing. And I said, you've always liked the neon lights. I don't know why we got to put one in this restaurant.
It's real neon.
Yes. Yeah. So we got one. The first one we did. It ain't that he didn't want to spend the money, but he just gotten a little bit older, he just kind of, how people get, they, and I was like, every time he talk about it, I was like, we're just gonna get one, I'm just gonna do it. And then I told him one time, he's like, nah, we don't need to do that or something like that. So we finally got one, and it didn't. I wish I had a picture of it. I probably do somewhere, but it just didn't. It was a neon light, but it just didn't look good. So. I don't remember if somebody hit it with a mop handle and it broke, or I just took it down. But I got found another guy, and he did that one, and that one looks 10 times better. You know what I mean?
How long has this one been up?
Oh, man. I can't.
15? 10, 15?
10, probably
10 to 15 years for both. One stayed on a year or two. Then we got that.
So it got broke. The first one got, and when that neon cracked, it was messed up. And then.
Did you get it in Myrtle Beach?
We did, and
from a neon guy,
older dude, surf shop kind of dude. He
passed away.
Miles knew. I think he did. Miles knew something about him through hats or something. That's the one that turned me on to it. I want to say his name was Joe.
Yep, and it was down close to the airport.
Yes.
And I went in there to get a sign. What was it, Heather? 5 years ago. About 5 years ago. And his wife was in there, and I said, "Is Joe?" I think it was Joe. I forget what his name was.
And it wasn't a surfing. I seen
he had a surfing van, like the van he.
Yes,
originally
he did a surf shop sign. That's where I got the sign from, and then went to him.
But he had a van that looked like a surfing van.
Yes,
as an old Ford, and I bought his first neon sign he ever made.
Really?
Yes, and it was in Myrtle Beach. I had a bakery patisserie, and we opened up at night having a coffee house, where people would come in and have an open mic, and they would play and sing and stuff like that. And we made dinner, and I knew him from somewhere else. I don't know when it was at Gold's somewhere. I don't know where I knew him from, but I remember him with Neon. And I went and asked him because he was working for someone else. And it was his first sign because his wife, when I went in there, she broke down. She said, "You bought his first sign." And they said they were in a black box and it was blue letters. It said Coffee House going down.
Really?
And we'd turn them on at night. On a Saturday night was when we had it. And went back.
I remember that place.
Perfection's Bakery was behind the Blockbuster up in Northwoods in Myrtle Beach on 76 to 79.
Yeah, across from Outback.
It was 78.
Beside Flamingo's Grill in that plaza.
No, down where the Walmart and Fresh Market is.
Yeah.
We were on the corner. So maybe you came over there. I don't know.
We may have.
Because we had, at first, when we first opened, we had a lot of people from Conway, Loris, Aner, that were old musicians in the 70s. And they said, this is so cool. It's like being back in the 70s. And so we opened it up, and we sold alcohol. So that helped, like with wine and beer and wine. I didn't have liquor, but I had beer and wine. But cappuccinos, and then I made like a 3-course dinner.
Did you ever know a guy named Big Bam Boom? He was from Loris. He played, and he was to go.
That wasn't his real name, though.
What was his real name?
Vaughn.
Von.
What did he play? Guitar?
Yeah, he played a guitar and he kind of
sing?
sung.
Coolest guy ever.
Like folk music type stuff?
Yeah. He always wore a Kango hat, kind of.
I bet he came in.
He was a Vaughn. Molly Vaughn
He
was
used to
his
talk about
wife.
some place. He used to go all the way around and just sing. He was wanting to do something at the grill a few times, and then he started getting sick and he passed. But he was wanting. He's like, man, we need to do like a little meet and greet, here in the evening time.
Right.
He was just kind of one of them dudes. Just cool dude. You know what I mean?
It's a cool thing to have people come in. It brings at night. That's you could do something like I hate to say it. It started to go down a path because then young kids will get in on just stand up on the microphone and just talk forever. And it's like, we want musicians. If you got something to do or say or a poem, whatever you want to do, but just carrying on a conversation with your friends, other people are getting bored, right?
They was kind of starting the podcast stuff.
Yeah. So that's absolutely correct. But anyway, we got some really cool musicians, and people would pop in that you would never believe that were like from big bands, and they're like, I heard about this place. We're just stopping in to play.
That's awesome.
It's like out in California, like Paul Simon would stop in and just play in them places for free, or people, Neil Diamond, those places, they just stop and play.
Yeah, and that was pretty big out there.
It was.
Yeah. Kind of like in Tennessee back it used to be.
Yes.
Everybody just stop in and just throw a gig together.
Nashville.
Country music, rock and roll, you know what I mean? And then they leave, you know what I mean?
Exactly. It was cool. But anyway, I'd gotten his first sign, but I went in to get one, and it was like, but I've not met too many Neon people that haven't died young.
Really?
Mm-mm. And I don't know, lung
something to do with
lung
gas or
cancer.
something?
I wonder. It's that Neon.
Really?
And they don't make. I don't even
They're
know if
not.
it's all LEDs.
LED
but
now.
it doesn't have the same look. I understand the safety. It doesn't have the same look as the Neon. That Neon has a classic look.
You're right.
But I talked to the guy that did the mural down here, Tommy Simpson. He's a hell of an artist.
That's the Loris mural?
Yeah,
Okay,
the one with the farm tractor.
Right.
He's well known for murals around this part of the United
Really?
States. Oh yeah, he's very well known. If you go into Soho, the new one, the Asian lady on the wall, he painted that.
Really?
He
does the
does.
Carolina Forest?
Yes.
Yeah.
Go in there. He painted
Yeah, I
that in
seen
like
it.
a couple days. I said,
Really?
Tommy, how long did that take? He's like, it was like 30 hours. What?
Wow.
It's like that should have taken hundreds of hours. But I don't even know why I got off on that. We was talking about artists and stuff like that. It'll come back to me. But I want to get to the story too of what spurred all this. And speaking of lights, you know what, Heather? You there? Yeah. I forgot to turn these backlights on. They don't make a difference on us, but I'm.
Thanks.
So you got some new ideas coming, and it's cool to surprise people instead of letting it out of the bag. And we've got some cool things coming. So I think it's the towns. We're in the path of growth.
Yes.
And I know Loris was its own town at one time. Tobacco, the railroad, farming. But what's going to happen now is the industry of growth, which is going to bring industry into the area and also business into the area. But I liken it to the bands outside of D.C. that used to be small little rural farm towns. The growth happened from D.C. out. The growth is happening from Myrtle Beach out. And as you know, a lot of people are moving here. There's a lot of developments. So you have a very iconic business that I think has the potential. I don't know if you'll be able to stay inside that it's not small there,
No,
but with what you've got, and I got to tell you, your onion rings are phenomenal. And like I told you before, I went to culinary school. I was a chef. I've been in Bon Appetit. And your onion rings that we used to go down and get in the evening, right before you'd close, because we'd eat a little later. But it's like we'd go down and get a big plate of onion rings.
You should eat them now because the grandson can really.
He's mastered them, man.
What? He has
done a
mastered
job.
onion rings.
Really?
We'll surprise you with it. We'll bring you a basket over
okay,
here.
yeah, no,
They are great.
They are spot. You see, I get look at that. That's not fake. That is not fake. I don't know if you can see the goosebumps. You see that? Those onion rings are good, you know. And the hamburgers and the we used to get a chicken sandwich and a salad. Just a great place. People that are coming here are looking for places like that. You know why? It makes them remember when they were a kid.
That's right.
Like 60 years
I
ago,
hear
50
that a
years
lot.
ago.
I hear that a lot.
It's reminiscing of when you were a child.
Because they're not out there like that.
No, and that's why Shorty wanted to leave. We expanded that dining room when we came. I mean, after we started renovating some, we needed more dining area. But he begged us to leave that little bit of game room back there just for the nostalgia of the building.
See, it used to be all game room.
Yeah.
From half of the building back. Like it was
I mean, that's what
more
people,
game room, pool tables, shoe shining booths, and all that stuff than it was seating area.
Okay.
So
That's
he kind of
what-
pushed it back, but he always wanted to keep. That's why we kept them couple pool tables.
That's
you know,
what
just-
people did was there was like 8 or 10 drop pocket pool tables and shorty rack balls, and it was only 10 cents a game. And how much did he tell us he'd make
He
on a
saved
Saturday night?
$200 or $300 on
Yeah.
a Friday and Saturday night.
Racking
Just
10
dimes.
cent ball game. I mean pool ball game.
That's how many
he was
people play
moving.
pool. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was hustling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So now, did you have the grill open at the same time while they were playing pool?
It always has been, but this was long before. He was like 9 or 10. He used to spend the night in the jail and stuff over there. He was a town baby too, and they looked after Shorty. I mean, he was over there at 9 or 10. He didn't like school. He cut school. He quit school. He wasn't going to school. I mean,
all them old guys made him feel like he was somebody.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, he
So,
was.
Yeah.
He was. I mean, and then it's that bringing into the wolf pack.
Yeah. Same. Yeah.
And it's community.
Yeah.
It's what I think there's so many people longing for that because it doesn't exist anymore.
They are.
And if you grew up with it, it is disappointing now. The way the behavior is in a lot of people, it's just like, why can't we all just get along and have the community?
well, that's how
used to?
we all
Why
are.
why do I have to lock my doors every time I go out of one building into another building? I never. You remember when you were young, people left the keys in their car.
Yeah.
At night, you just leave the
I
keys
leave
in your
mine
car.
in there now, man. So, man,
they're-
I got insurance on it. No, I'm playing.
if the transmission starts knocking,
if you lock it up, it seems like they beat the windows out. If you leave the keys in it, they'll walk right by it.
Yeah, we just went through this discussion
I'm
last
playing.
night because my back door had come open and I called him. I said, I don't know if somebody's in my house or not. Anyway, I don't think so. I think the wind blew it and I didn't have it closed good. And he's like, when are you going to start turning on your alarms here like you're supposed to? When are you going to do this? When? I was like, I don't like to do all that.
Right.
But I need to, you know.
times have changed, and
Yeah.
you do have to adapt. But at the same point, it sucks.
Yeah.
It really does, because then you look at humanity different, and you start looking at things differently, and you can become more jaded.
That's a very good word to say. That's what's happened. Like we was talking about earlier. That's what everybody's on. I mean, it's just like, I don't know. You know what I'm talking about.
The news does a lot of that.
You
with
say
fear.
better words than I do.
Yeah.
So I'll let you
Your vocabulary is stronger.
Well, now you had Nick, and that was in 1981, and then you had a daughter,
I had a daughter in 85.
and you want to tell me a little, Meagan?
Yeah.
Correct.
She was our house changed. I mean, you know, because it no longer boys couldn't walk around in their jocks, and Shorty just put the hammer and you can't walk around here. She's here, da da da. And yeah, it changed our house, but she was a blessing from day one.
And you were 4?
He was 4.
4.
Yeah.
Do you remember as far as recollect? I don't remember much past 5 or 6.
Yeah.
Do you remember when she was a baby?
Not really. I remember. I want to say, like you said, maybe a couple years old. I remember a lot then because one thing, she hated Santa Claus. Good Jesus Lord, it was crazy.
Scare her?
Oh my God! And I was always grew up. you know, like I got hung from the rafters, and I was like, oh yeah, I got her. Oh yeah, she's done. And I was a Santa Claus baby too. Like I love Santa Claus, so we had to get up 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, and So I remember her from that age on.
She slept with him on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
Because she was scared of
She
Santa?
was scared.
Yeah. She
Yeah.
was petrified of Santa Claus. Yeah.
Did she ever get to where she liked Santa Claus? Maybe at like
Yeah,
6, 7, 8?
She did.
It was a little bit
But-
older than normal.
Yeah.
And she also got past the point of being scared, and she scared him in later life because she was not scared of nothing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And so you're growing up, and is she hanging out at the restaurant too at the
No.
grill?
No,
Because
my
a lot of
dad
times old timers were like, there's boys and there's girls, and
Yeah.
they're raised 2 different
Well,
ways.
On her way.
Yes, yeah, and you know, you be around a bunch of guys all the time, the way they talk and the way they whatever. So my dad wasn't like that crazy, but he just knew she don't need to
She
be here all the
couldn't
time.
be on the-
You know what I mean?
she's a girl.
She comes by here and eat, and she can. And I'm not talking about as far as any kind of working process. She never got to that point. You know what I mean? He would have definitely let her work there, but I'm talking about just 4, 5, 6, 7. And she come by now. She come by all the time, and the staff there, everybody loved her. I'm not saying that, but she just didn't. She never reached that point.
Yeah,
because of the
he said
sickness
she
and
couldn't
stuff too.
come.
You know what I mean?
We have a lady hired to take care of her because he didn't want her up there, and that he didn't want her in that environment. Not so much the environment, just she was a girl. It was
It's
different.
not that it's not a bar,
No,
or there's not a bunch
no.
of drinking going on, but it's different because it's a girl.
Yeah.
My daughter, I had a girl, and it's like if I'd had a boy, I would raise, and I know a lot of people out there don't agree with that, but I'd raise them different.
But
I would
but-
raise a girl
Yeah, we
different than I
did.
raise a boy.
Yeah, and a lot of it though, is what just to let everybody know, like the time that we're talking about, she was up there all the time with them and with us. It wasn't like that. She never got to the point where you could leave her at night. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
She
yeah.
got sick early. You know what I'm
She
saying?
was
So,
13
I mean, she
when
was
she
a
was died.
kid
She was
growing
13.
up there. Like she was with us. You know what I mean? Like she hung out there, but she didn't. You understand what I'm saying? She
Yeah.
was still a baby. You know.
Yes.
You know. She just wasn't like.
He kept a chain on her when
Yeah.
it come to leaving and going to the street.
Yeah,
didn't
she
do
couldn't.
that.
She didn't go run the streets like I did. You know, that's the kind of thing I'm talking about. You know what I
There's
mean?
a difference.
And it
And
shouldn't
it's-
have been. I mean, me being the woman I am, I don't feel like it was right, but I
And she got
understand
sick when
why.
she was 13?
13.
13. So that's what I'm saying.
At
That
that
was the
point,
age when
yeah.
she was about to start going up there working some, and it just,
Right.
you know what I'm saying. So that's was what I was meaning by it. You know, she wasn't not allowed to go there. It was just
Right.
she never hit that transition stage where she was just, you know,
Yeah,
kind
she
of roaming
came-
the streets and stuff.
Yeah, she
until
came
then.
after school and all that stuff, but she just didn't ever. It was a little
That's
different.
why Shorty's grill's on that mural. That was part of her life too. That's what I'm getting at. You know what I mean?
Right.
Just
And-
never got to where I was at the growing up part. You know what I mean?
You designed the mural.
Yes, he did.
I did design the mural.
Yeah, it's a beautiful mural.
Well, thank you.
And there's a lot of it's heartfelt when you walk up to it. You can feel it.
Yeah.
It's not. There are beautiful murals of beautiful artists that do beautiful murals, and they have a beautiful scene. But there's something extremely heartfelt when you walk up to that.
Yeah,
you
you can
feel
feel
that
it.
there's an emotion there behind
Yeah.
it, more than just a beautiful scene. There's something tied to it.
And everything inside that butterfly represents something in her life. She had a full life up till she was 13. His life didn't really begin till, I mean, I did scrapbooks. It's weird because when he was little, his life really started soaring at 5 or 6. Hers started soaring early. She danced. She done everything. She did everything. Her life started immediately.
She had a big brother, a good big brother.
She
That's right.
she
No,
did
man.
pageants. We did state pageants. She did all kind of stuff. Her life was very full when she was very young, and
Almost like meant to be, kind of.
yeah, it's kind of
If you
strange.
look back at it now, you
Yeah.
know, we didn't see
Yeah.
all that. You know what I mean?
Right.
I was young as well. You know, I went 4 years older than her. It wasn't like I was 15 or 20 years older than her. You know what I mean?
Now, she was very talented too.
Yes,
Yeah.
and very smart, and she I don't know. She just didn't ever have any problems. Just kind of like her daddy. Just kind of.
She always had like a you know, going back and looking at it now, there was just something about her.
She was
Like,
special.
like she was kind of, not saying it because of my sister, but like she blossomed and done everything way ahead of time. I don't know how to explain it. You know what
I know.
You know.
Well, to
it's
give
like-
you a good
and
example.
I think that's because what was projected for her life.
Yeah,
She was
it
supposed
was.
to
It was
shine
kind of like
from
all
1 to 13,
like we spoke
not from
earlier.
13 to 40. You know what I mean?
Yeah, earlier, like we spoke, it was all in God's plan
Right.
because Meagan was a terrible baby. Like 9 months, she screamed 24 hours a day. Nobody wouldn't keep her. So a lady out here at Allsbrooks named Mary Cox, a good Christian woman, a Bible woman. Her husband was a preacher. I mean, she walked the pew. She shouted. She was like a good old prayer warrior woman. She told me she'd keep her, and she tried. And she told me that when she was going to, she'd tell me every day, I'm just praying over. I'm praying over. So she was meant to be with her.
Right.
And she could shout when she was 5. I mean, like crazy, pray. She'd get, there's a thunderstorm coming. We got to get in there and sit down. We can't do this. We got to do this, Mama. You do
She was like an old soul.
Yeah, she was. Yeah, it was,
A lot of come from that lady too, Miss Mary. She was
she planted so much.
almost like an old soul for me being here with these guys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep,
You know,
you
it's
are,
kinda,
yes.
Yeah, it's kind of like bringing in the wolf pack. You
Yeah.
know?
Yes.
But
And there are old souls.
Yeah.
they are old souls.
And there's new souls.
They
and
are
they're-
new
and,
souls.
And you can feel them, and you know.
They
and-
are.
And she planted some good seed in her
Right.
that I probably wouldn't have never been able to done. I mean, I know I wouldn't because Mary was just an elite, godly woman. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, just
It so she was very talented, doing a lot of things, and you said experiencing life early.
yeah.
And now that you look back, you can kind of see why it's a spiritual thing, an earth angel, someone that was sent, you know, and so she's going on her path. She's 5, 6, doing some pageants. I take it at that age.
Yeah, she was doing state pageants, a lot of stuff.
She danced a lot too.
She danced. She was a Girl Scout. She was. I mean, she was everything. She stayed big. She cheerlead when she got a little bit bigger. She was. She was full. Everything in her life was full.
Yeah, and so starts school,
Yeah.
age 5 or 6,
Yeah.
and she goes to Loris here.
Yes, at Loris Elementary. It was the old one around here then at that time.
Okay, and tell me more about Meagan and her journey on from there.
Well, she was just such a good little girl. She just ended up being the best kid ever. I mean, Rambo over here gave me a lot more trouble than she ever did. She just knew what she was going to do. She was very focused, very like her mother. So,
What did she want to do in life?
at 13, she kept saying she would teach school or she would do this. I don't think it was no direction
Right.
at that time. I think it was just what she thought she wanted to do, whatever that is.
Yeah, she was kind of, from 12 to when she got sick, I don't think there was a lot of talk about, what I mean? It wasn't like she was junior in high school, you know what I mean? And we were trying to
and you're trying to
pave
get
the
into
way,
college,
you know
and
what I mean?
yeah.
She was just being a kid, you know what I mean? So anyway, I'll let her
letting
finish
life
the story.
happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so she's 12, 13.
Yeah, she was cheerleading at Loris Middle School, and her leg had started swelling like in January, like in her calf. And we took her.
Let me tell you, she first got hit. If you want to,
She broke her leg.
She
on
broke
the
her.
trampoline.
She broke her leg on a trampoline.
Same
This happened-
spot.
This happened
When she was
years
like-
prior to this,
yeah.
5 or 6, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to put that in there.
Yeah, and that was the same leg that the osteogenic sarcoma came in. But in January, I took her, and I don't want to do this on
No.
the bus. I took her to a local doctor here. I didn't want to call any names because I've forgiven him in my heart. He misdiagnosed her as having just inflammation or something, and so from January to March, this thing grew and ruptured out of the bone. And so in March of 2000, March of 2000, 1999, I took her to Dr. Richard Ward at Ortho SC, which was then Strand Orthopedics, and he came and told me immediately that he thought she had cancer. And I said, what? I mean, I was like thrown away. I couldn't believe it. And then, anyway, he was so angry. that he threw his pencil and all he had up into the X-ray on the wall, and he said, "Betty, where have you had her at?" And I told him where we were, and he was like, "What a quack! What a quack!" I mean, anybody would know it was in the fibula. It was a non-weight bearing bone. It wouldn't have had to be traumatized to have. I mean, it would have been traumatized to have broke, you know. And he was just so out of it. Then that was on March the 10th of 1999, and the next morning he had us at Duke Hospital with her.
I'm going to interrupt you one time, though. I know she can't remember everything. I mean,
No,
because
yeah.
it's a very bad subject for her too. Anyway,
Yes.
but when she broke her leg, can't remember how old she was.
She was about 5.
When what triggered that again, and I might be totally wrong, she was playing softball and she got pelted in the same exact spot that she broke her leg in. And then after, you remember she got hit with that softball?
Yeah.
And then after that, it was like,
I forgot about
I can't
softball.
remember how many months it was, but it was like, now looking back.
So
you
she
see
broke her leg at 5.
5 or
Age
6 years old on a
On a
trampoline.
trampoline. I was holding her hand. I heard it crack.
And then she got hit by a softball.
Probably
something
6,
bad
5,
or something.
5.
She was not
6.
5. She was probably 3 because she'd go watch you at the ball field with
broke-
that little thing on her leg.
Whatever. She broke her leg is what
Right.
I'm saying. Then she got pelted by, she played softball too.
Got hit.
Got hit. And from I don't know if it was like a year before that or whatever, or I don't think
Was
it was
that like-
long
It wasn't
though.
that long because
At
Yeah.
like 12, she got hit.
Somewhere 11 or 12, and it was just
So it hit the same spot
same
where it had
spot.
the break
yeah.
was.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like that.
Yep.
Like that main break.
Trauma.
Did it, and that softball just exploded it kind of. I don't know how to say it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I know
But
what you're talking
and I wasn't
about.
trying to
It's-
cut her off. I remember that
okay.
softball incident.
I forgot about her
real,
playing
you know what I mean?
softball too. She did that too. But they did a needle aspiration that next day, and of course they diagnosed her with osteogenic sarcoma, and we started cancer treatments and chemo and then surgery and a resection of bone. They wanted to save the bone. Her daddy wanted them to amputate her leg, and he swore till the day he died if they had, she'd lived. She ended up having to have an amputation in April before she died in September of 2001, and she never lived another day after she had it done. She hated it. She was perfect. She wanted to be her body had to be perfect.
She was a girl.
Everything had to be perfect with her, and she just never was happy or satisfied after that, ever. She got a little boyfriend while she was sick. He stood by her like an angel, and he don't
He
even
really did.
he don't even know. And I seen him not long ago.
We've seen
And,
him. I ain't want to cut her off. I'm just trying to help her remember everything. We've seen him the past. I don't want to call no names because he's actually in that mural that nobody knows.
Yeah, he's in.
He's
the
hidden
mural.
in that mural because he's went on with his life, which is wonderful. He's got
And
kids.
we
He's got a
wanted him
beautiful wife.
to.
That's awesome. But we didn't want to slap his name up there in the middle of that because that's he done so much for her that you couldn't ask for no better. Why would you want to put his name?
He made her happy. He
Made her
gave her
happy.
something we couldn't.
Yeah.
He gave her.
A companionship, I mean,
Well,
my
she's-
love
she's-
for her was totally different.
She still felt wanted.
Yeah.
And
Right.
needed
and,
outside the family.
And in a boyfriend manner.
yeah.
Kiss him, whatever they did,
Right.
who cares? You know what I mean? But
Right.
something we couldn't give her.
Yep.
And me and him, we have talked a lot after she died. And then Shorty said, "Betty, you need to leave him alone. He needs to go on with his life. He can't live here. I mean, he can't. I mean, there's nothing
And he didn't
here."
want to. It was just my dad thinking that
It-
we need to go on with our life and he needs to go on his life.
Yeah, he
You
needs.
see what I'm saying?
Well, he said
But he's old school now.
Yeah.
But he
like that.
He also said if it had been the other way around, you wouldn't wanted her to been stuck the rest of her life in that. You need to consider his feelings as well. And I did, and I mean it hurt, but he still sees me. And he came and introduced his new wife to be at the grill, and they both got mega chickens, which by the way is named after her. And I like to have passed out trying to make them. I was having to work at night then because of we didn't have any help, and anyway, I thought I was going to die. But she's great. She's a great person, and they
And she's very I don't know, acceptive of us and their relationship.
Yeah.
And I just think it's awesome. Like,
She
'cause a lot of
told
people
me-
don't. A lot of people, all right, now I don't want to call her name. All right, you need to just, But every time we see her, it's just like, hey, and she wants to talk about, not specifically Meagan, but she just wants to talk. I don't know.
We saw her about a month ago eating.
We've seen her 2 or 3 times in the past
Anyway,
month.
she said they had the kids with them. They've got 3 or 4 kids. I don't know how many they got, but anyway, I said, well, I would love to see them because I see them on Facebook growing up. But I said, I don't want to bring up all this to them and stuff. She said, oh, there's nothing. No, they know all about Meagan. They know everything about Meagan. They know all
Made her
about her
feel
life.
really good.
I love her.
You know.
She's a great person.
Yeah.
Right.
really is.
Because most people would be like, okay, let's close this door now. That's over with, and it is over with. You know what I mean? Of course, but just speaking of her, just her angelity though is just cool. You know what I mean? I mean, I just
a lot of
think
respect.
A lot of respect
in all ways, with Shorty, with wanting
With
them
everything.
to move on.
The way it's supposed to be.
It's the way it's supposed to be. With everyone has respect.
Really simple.
It makes life. It's the worst tragedy that can happen. Well, I think there's one that's worse than that, and that's if someone gets abducted and you never know what happened to them.
Oh yeah.
And we've had some in our family
We
some
did too.
things like cancer, car wrecks that's taking children, young people.
But
And I always, when you're going through that, it's always like, well, this is bad, but I think but this is an extreme tragedy.
you don't know whether they were died or
You'd never stop hunting.
No closure.
You would never stop hunting.
No, yeah.
You and I would travel the earth looking,
Yeah.
and you would die doing it because
Yeah.
it's the only thing you would know how to do at that point was just to hunt for them. But there's something extremely tragic about a child that's not with someone that's of a certain age because they've got to live their life. And here on earth, we look at it like, you'd always try to remind yourself that, am I being selfish because I still want them here? But I don't care. Yeah, I want them. And it's something you don't get over. Like you were talking about with closure. I never got over some of the, my nephew or my niece was killed in a car crash at 17. I think I mentioned on the video, I had a cousin. I was 15. She was 14. She was my sister.
Right.
Same thing. She was playing volleyball, crack on the side of the leg, and that's where it started. That was back in that was back.
Did she have osteogenic sarcoma as well?
Yeah, it went everywhere. It was lungs,
Megan's
kidneys,
did too.
liver.
Megan.
It started in the bones, yes. But back then they gave them cobalt.
Oh yeah, I remember.
200 foot down on the ground, and you just watch. I'm sure the same. You watch them wither away to a skeleton.
Yeah.
And it's tragic. It's tragic. And when people say, "Oh, we get over it," I never got over it. I'll still tear up when I talk about her. And that's been 46 years, 45 years, and you never get over it.
No.
You learn to deal with things day to day beyond that.
Yeah.
And my niece, she was 17. She spent the summers with us, so it was kind of like a daughter. And I had a scare with my daughter of leukemia. Woke up and she was covered in bruises, little pin bruises, like 1,000 of them.
I've seen.
And that's a sign. And couldn't get her in anywhere. And it's like you got that 3 day of guts, like just going, oh God, here we go again. Here we go again with something, right? And it's but you never do get over it. You learn to live with it until you see them again.
That's right. You have to make a new life.
And I think one of the things of having God in your life is it's not over. The people who don't have God, it's over.
That's right.
With the people who believe in God and understand that there is an afterlife, it's not
over.
over.
Rejoice.
It sucks because it's like being real close to a family member you can't see for 40 or 50 years, but you will be reunited.
That's right. Well, that was back to a major thing about Tim, her boyfriend. He talked to me after the fact of her dying. He felt like that some kind of odd force placed him with her. He said, I don't even know why I ended up here. And he believed it was God that put him there for her. Mm-hmm. That's what he thought. So that was all.
And it might have put him there for him as well. You know, that's the kind of thing. Not saying that, but he's went on now after Meagan. I don't know what he did right after Meagan. You know, but it wasn't shortly after that he was with her. You know, somebody slowed him down for a year or two. I say that
an adjustment of some sort, but
things is meant to be, man.
It meant something. It was a massive point in his life
for both of them
because his new wife knows about Meagan. They still talk about Meagan.
Yeah.
So it was like you said,
something was there for him too.
Yeah, there was
because he did tell Mama, and I don't know word for word, but like I don't even know how we got together, kind of. You know what I'm saying? And then here she was sick, had one leg. Not saying anything about that, but most kids at 13 and 14, 15, that's not what they were looking for.
Right.
You know what I mean? We all been men before. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not saying that now, but, you know, when I was 13 and 14, good Jesus, Lord. You know what I mean? You know.
And he stuck with her till he was a year older than her, but he stayed with her till the day she died.
Story, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
If other people that are going through that right now, and every time we drive, most of the time we drive by the hospital, but if you go by like a St. Jude's or something, it always hits me hard. It's like, at least I don't have somebody in there right now, but there's people who do.
Oh, yeah.
And so going through that and going through all that you did, and you and your husband stayed together.
Oh, yeah, we did.
That's rare.
Very rare.
And so what advice or something could you give to people right now that's in the throes of it? Like, we even at St. Jude's, their life expectancy has gotten a lot better. They've done a lot of research and it's gotten a lot better. But there are some things that, as a parent or as someone that's close, you're hoping for a miracle, but kind of understanding that may not happen at a certain point when it gets so bad.
I never think that. You always stay positive. I never gave up till the end. I did tell Meagan the day she was diagnosed, she asked me if she was going to die. And we were coming down number 9, right there where the seacoast is now. I don't even know if it was there. No, it wasn't there then. And she said, "Am I going to die?" And I said, "I don't know." It was raining. I said, "I don't know if you're going to die or not." I said, "But if God needs you more than I need you, then He's going to get you." And I told her that the day she left.
Yeah. If there's something you could tell a parent that's going through that right now, what is some deep thoughts of wisdom after you've been through it, and it's been 24 years, 24 years. What is something you could tell someone that's going through that right now that could, I don't know about comfort them, but give them a little guidance or some thought to chew on? What would you say to someone right now that's going through that? Their kid's in St. Jude and it's not looking good. And
well, I've had to do this with a lot of people, and I've been involved in a lot of people's lives like that, and I just think that you just need to hope and pray and hope. You got to hope that it's going to all be all right. I think deep down inside you know it's not, but you're never going to admit that. I think, like I told you earlier before we started, that I relied on God for He was my sanctuary, and I was lucky enough that I thought the grill would close because I was not there, but it didn't. And Shorty and Nicholas kept it going, and I was able to spend all my time with her. I didn't have to leave her. My mother was living, and we both traveled the roads with her.
Duke Dolores.
Yeah, several ambulances ride. We went all the time, back and forth. They wouldn't let me carry her if she was sick. But I don't know. I just gave up my whole life and just dedicated it to trying to save hers, and I don't have any regrets.
And I think I'm not speaking for her. Like I like to butt in sometimes just because it's her.
I was going to ask you, what would you tell a brother or someone that's...
and I don't want to get all into it, but, during that part of life that was going on, my life was sideways too. Mm-hmm. Not because of that. That was never no excuse to me.
Yeah, because we didn't want to do that.
Yeah, that wasn't, I was in the wrong direction because of my own decisions. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just messing with the wrong people, like I said, you know what I mean? So then when all that started taking place, then it was affecting me. I think I didn't really know it. I've had the same issues with my dad, because I'm a very headstrong, positive person. But at the same time, it's almost like the devil. There's just something about there just beating on you. You know what I mean? But I would say that what I seen out of them the most as parents is leaning towards God. Now, we didn't stay in a God house where it was just God. You know, it wasn't like that.
No, yeah,
but just believing in Him and being positive, man. Being positive, bringing that good energy for whether it's 1 year, 5 years, 100 years, however long they're here for you. Just being positive. My daddy was a very positive person.
Very, very positive.
Now, he would go by himself and do whatever he wanted to do and get upset or whatever, but he never showed that around us. You know what I mean? It was more, you know,
he was
upbeat.
very
and she was very upbeat.
He was a good leader.
Very good leader. She was a very good leader too now.
But
she would break down a lot more behind the scenes. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
She was stressed out, man. You know, it was just,
absolutely.
You know, and anybody that's been through that or any kind of strategy that, I mean, you know, it's, you know, I don't think one's greater than the other. Hard times is hard times, you know, and everybody handles them differently, you know, and everybody's not cut out the same cloth.
But he was very supportive of me.
Yeah, he had a store out in Allsbrooks, and he sold it to come back to the grill because he was at the Allsbrooks store. She was at the Shorty's grill.
The convenience store?
Yes. And I run it for him at night at Shorty's.
Yeah.
You know, and I was back and forth doing whatever, you know, doing what I wanted to do, you know, being a typical
You were 16, 17.
wolf pack baby, if you want to call it.
Yeah.
You know, so well, he sold that, and then he come back to the grill, and she stayed on the road with her and my grandmother. They traveled, and we would go up some. I'm not saying that, but it was. I mean, there'd be times they'd go stay for 2 or 3 days, and they'd be back in one day. And back, it was just whatever.
We may stay 2 weeks.
Whatever they needed from Meagan that they needed from her. You know what I mean? So, you know, it was but going back to the question is, I think just believing in God and believing in your family and believing in yourself and just being positive and just bouncing that ball the way it's supposed to be bounced kind of. I know I say that a lot, but that's, you know, sometimes you just got to dribble it, man. That's, you know, I don't know. But being positive is one of my biggest things, and it's been so far for our family too. Just trying to, you know, I don't know if you want to call it put out a front or whatever, but it ain't. It's just, you know, it's just
it's real.
It's real.
And the respect amongst your family, and I think that a strong family going through something like that is so critical. Because
well, you made us point a while ago. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, that's all right.
But it's statistically, man, 95% of all people never make it like him or her did. Mm-hmm. You know, and I don't know the statistics down to generate like other kids, but you know, a lot of people might not have nothing to do with, you know, it might bust the whole family up.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. The same thing as the divorce does or whatever, you know, and that's one thing that they didn't do. You know what I mean?
I couldn't.
They never put me to the side. You know, I'm pretty sure that they done what they had to do with her. But I'm talking about they never made me feel some type of way.
Right.
They never neglected me and shunned me. My daddy never shunned. She never shunned him. You see what I'm saying? I mean,
yes.
But you made that statement. But most people do.
Yeah.
But after Meagan
you
died,
kept your roles, and as hard as it is, you kept your roles. And
after Meagan died, I couldn't sleep again. Now I can't sleep 7 months. I don't sleep. I don't sleep at night. It's just something with me, with trauma. And anyway, we'd ride and go to cemetery at night and all this stuff. And I had her buried out there in the country because I didn't want her at a.
That was your church, though.
Yeah, it was our church, but still, I didn't want her somewhere where I couldn't get to her if I wanted, just to go to the cemetery.
It's like a mile from our house.
Anyway, he said, Betty, one night we pulled up his way and he said, somebody's got to work here, and I don't know, and you're not riding by yourself enough. So you're going to get your tail into bed and stay in there or sit up in a chair because I have got to rest. I have got to work. So, I mean, it was I didn't go back to work right away. And when I did, those people in that restaurant is what helped me because they helped. I cried. They listened. They didn't care.
They've been some good people, man. Some good people.
Yeah, they healed me. They helped heal my soul.
Good people from all walks of life, too. That's what's crazy, man.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I don't got to say it on a podcast or whatever we do. If you name it, it was there. I mean, from junkies to whatever. Didn't matter.
You
goes back to the positivity, though. They was all just feeding her.
You're either a good person or you're not. And deep down inside, you may make some mistakes. But a good person's a good person. They still make mistakes.
That's
and, you
right.
know, people
learn from.
And people are people, man. And they all good to me, man.
Yeah.
I mean, really, I just don't. But I'm talking about there was so many different walks of life that come in that grill. Even now, they come and talk to the same thing we talking now. It might be about daddy tomorrow. It might be about my son. It might be about whatever. And it's just like,
There's so much a part of
just
our
absorb all that, because that's just stuff that people don't get, man.
Right.
You know what I mean? And all of it's good.
Yep.
Nobody comes up there and says, y'all sorry, y'all, it's never like that. It's just like, it's like they're feeding off us and we feeding off them.
Well, that's what you're putting out into the universe.
Yes.
And you're getting it back.
Yes,
So it's the
kinda-
positive
it's kinda-
stuff.
yeah.
And if people were positive, they'd find out that sometimes their life would be better.
And how many people have we granted that, or not just us, anybody, just by being positive, man.
Right.
That man might go make a whole nother decision when he leaves here.
Because you've changed something. It's kind of like the fellow that the young boy that showed up for Meagan at the end.
Right.
It changed both of them.
Yeah.
It was good for both of them.
It's a positive
but
thing.
it's all positive.
Yeah.
And so I've never understood people being this negative, like nasty.
We
negative.
talked about that a lot before this show.
Yeah.
And I don't want to. I'll let you talk. I don't want to talk about all that, but I'm just saying that's the problem, though. That's a lot of the problem.
Yeah. So do you feel that Shorty was that rock in this?
He was, because I wouldn't do anything. And he came home like he did the night and when he set his foot down, I had to do it. I mean, he did not bend. I mean, that was it. And he came home one day and he said, tomorrow you're going to work. And I said, I'm not going back to work. I don't want to. He said, you're going crazy here. I can't come home to you. I got on the roof one day trying to save cats. I mean, they thought I was going crazy. I mean, and I may have been. I don't know. I was in a dark place. He said, tomorrow you're going to work. So I went to work.
And did it help?
Yeah, but he'd say, it's time to go home. If I go,
Yeah.
go home.
But still, he was kind of like a drill, or not a drill sergeant, but a sergeant.
Yeah, he did.
To privates, and it's like in the military.
That's what he did to my whole life, and that's why I said he molded me into what he wanted me to be in, and he had me compressed. And now I feel like, woohoo, I'm back. That's what kind of stuff I'm talking. And he's trying to compress me. I'm not
trying to compress you. I'm just trying to tell him, though, that what he was talking about a while ago about statistic-wise, what we was talking about, when you said, was he the rock, literally, and I'm not saying this because of my parents, they both were like that. That's why that energy stayed there.
Yeah. You had rules and you stuck to them.
Well, it was just like she's a rock force too
for
all of our family.
In my own direction, I mean, his direction was more. Mine's we were just two different forces.
Up, though, man. Right. That's why I never went anywhere.
Well, it's people following rules. I always talk about people. I said old school people follow rules.
I'm very rule-follow.
The young school, they don't have any rules,
and morals,
and things are going to hell.
Yeah.
And the people who, they can you may not like them a lot, but you respect them because they have rules and they abide by these rules that they stick to. Kind of like in the military, whatever, you have these rules that you have to adhere to. There's a reason for them, and I think there's a reason for them in relationships. I was telling you about my cousin. She was I called them aunt and uncle because they were 25, 30 years older than me, but they were really my cousin. I called them Aunt Barb and Uncle George, but they're a shining example. And sometimes when work gets hard, when things get frustrated, when you're going through awful times or something's happening, I always and Heather can vow to this. I said, Barb and George, I said, can you be that? Their son, who was 17, got in a motorcycle wreck, became a paraplegic, and couldn't move, couldn't do anything much. Their house burnt down. He lost his job, and the daughter died of cancer all within a 2-year period.
Wow.
And they just got in a travel trailer and moved to Florida. They were going to Florida.
Rough.
And he went down there and worked at a gas station. And he was advanced in his career, what he was doing, but they just started all over again. And so, but they stuck together. They had rules. And whenever he called me, and the one that was paraplegic, 6 years ago, he lived up until that point. He fell in the pool, cleaning the pool. He shouldn't have been. Greg was his name. He shouldn't have been cleaning the pool, but he wasn't going to tell him. He was strong-headed, strong-willed. I'm going to go clean the pool anyway, but he stumbled all the time. He didn't have much use of his legs. Right. His arm didn't work. Fell in the pool. His dad had MS, sat in a chair, couldn't do nothing. And he drowned.
Wow.
So they called me. I got a voice message. Please give me a call. I called up. I said, Uncle George, how you doing? Well, I can't complain. His son just died. I can't complain. How are you? And I'm said, well, is something wrong? Because I had a bad gut feeling, right? And then they told me, and I'm like, how do you live up to that? That's rules. That's
I have
standards.
a lot of rules.
Standards.
And this is why this is broken now. I broke a rule that night, and I know what it was. I figured it all out after half. If I do anything out of my structure, I have to pay for it because I'm so ruleified, you know?
Right. But that teaches you to follow the rules when something bad happens.
Yeah.
You're like,
Sometimes.
this is why it happened, because I didn't follow the rules.
Yeah.
But I know that you're tough. And I knew that Shorty was tough. I know you're tough, but I know that you're tough because when Heather said, well, she just broke her shoulder, and I'm like, well, are you sure she wants to come in here and do this?
Yeah.
But you're here.
Yeah.
And you don't complain about it. And I think that is a difference of past generations, that you think of those pioneers that got onto a wagon and headed west.
You talking about some tough people.
Yeah. And the women were pregnant.
Yeah.
And they're on their way. And that's a 2-3 month trip.
And now you can't ride in the car with them.
And you might get
Right,
attacked.
come on.
You don't know what's going to happen. You know, it's just, here we go. But it's, I find that people who do have the discipline and rules tend to make it through tough times, and the ones that don't, it falls apart. But it's a hell of a thing to go through, as you know, when you do lose a child, a relationship, it can get bad. And that's why when you were sitting there telling me, when Shorty said, no, you're going to work. Yeah. You're going crazy here. You're going to work. And he probably didn't want to tell you that.
He didn't want to, but he could see.
But he knew he had to.
Right.
And that's the man thing. You've got to do some things sometimes that you don't really care to do, but you know it's for the best, as hard as it is.
Yeah, and everybody wanted me to take medicine and antidepressants, and I never have taken one in my life. Yeah. I did everything cold turkey with me and him. That's it. I mean, that was it. I didn't. I never relied on nothing. Just like I only took 3 days of pain medicine with this, because I don't do that.
Right.
I'll endure it somehow or another, because that stuff just don't work.
It's rules, Mom.
It's rules. It's rules. And so you lost Shorty recently too.
Yeah. Yeah.
The day after Father's Day.
And I haven't slept in 7 months again.
Now you.
So, I mean, I do, but I mean, I don't.
Now,
4 hours is probably the most I sleep at the time.
Can you sleep during the day?
Well, this past week, I told him I've slept more this past week than I have in 7 months, because he said, why are you going to bed? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm just so sleepy. And then I'll get up and sleep, and then I'll go back, and then I'll get up, and then I'll make coffee, and then I'm up, and then I'm done. You know, it's just.
Now, would you be one of the people who would stay up all night if you didn't have to do anything and there was no rules? You'd be a night person?
Yes.
How about you? Day person?
Oh, yes. Our whole crowd was
night people. So you're creative.
Yeah. Yeah.
That comes with the people who
we don't
up,
go to bed.
the people who stay up later.
We're early people too. Like it's you know.
I mean, and anyway. 6 o'clock we're like, are you up? This is every morning. Are you up? I mean, that's what we
got
do.
people around us like my old lady. She's just like, she's good as gold, but she's like, yeah, God, like, you know what I mean?
Got to go to bed.
You know, but I just feel like I'm gonna miss something. You know,
yeah.
You gotta
and
get up early, start the day early.
You want to make sure and get in on everything.
Yeah.
Now we're just running against the wind. Both of us are running against the wind, and we're just running and going every night and going and doing and doing.
But she don't like sitting at home.
I don't like. Well, but we do, and it's okay. I mean, we go eat, we go hear people sing, we go do a lot of stuff, and it's okay. I don't like to be home, and
you don't like being home.
How
about you?
No.
So
he can't.
No, I just it doesn't matter to me about being home. I just like to, you know,
you want to see and do things.
I want to see and do things, and you know, I'm kind of like, she picks on me, and it ain't like that. We just joke around a lot. Sure. We cut up a lot. A lot of people that first get around us, they're like, God, like, are they, you know? But it's just the way we are. You know?
Argue.
But she thinks I'm trying to watch over her like Dad does. It's not. I just don't want her to be uncomfortable sitting at home every night by herself. So
it's called love.
Love.
It's
rules.
Called love.
Get in the car. Let's ride somewhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, I don't want you to sit over there and start going crazy or depressed or nothing. You know what I mean? If we can go ride somewhere and go do something, kind of like the same situation we was talking about earlier. You know?
So you're an adventurer. You like adventure.
Yeah.
Where's one place you want to go to?
Oh my gosh, we just went over this yesterday.
Where's the one place that if you had that ticket, that golden ticket, you can go there anytime you want to, but that's the place you want to go, where would it be? What would you like to see in the world?
There isn't just one.
Yeah, I got like
what would be
bunch.
The top one?
It's almost like the 3 wishes thing. You ever heard that?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you had one wish, what would you wish for? 3 more wishes.
More? Yeah. Infinite wishes.
So I don't know. I've been to London. I've been I've been a lot of places, man. I've never went out west.
Yeah.
And I've been up north. I've never went out west. And we was just talking about this yesterday or day before yesterday.
Yesterday.
They got these train rides that go from Chicago. I was going to ask you that while I go to
Amtrak.
It's called something, whatever. You know what I mean? But you go to Chicago, to the big, huge train station was built in the 1900s.
Yep. And
you drive through the Colorados, the Rockies, the Mississippi River, Arkansas River, and then some other kind of thing. You end up in San Francisco. Mm-hmm. And then I reckon it's a one-way trip. I think you fly back or whatever. I don't know.
You can do round trip or you can fly back or whatever, and you can get up going across close to the border of Canada, and you can come down through the Rockies, and you can do a southern trip. There's 3 different rail systems, like east-west.
I've been looking at it. So my bucket list is as big as this table.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I would like to just draw one out. But there's a lot of stuff right up under our eyes that we travel across the pond, or we go to the Caribbean, or we go and there's so much stuff right here.
There's a ton of stuff.
Here.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I say not just here in Lord. I'm just talking about in the United States. That's absolutely remarkable. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. I think that would be one of them. And see, I'm more of a, I don't know. I think I would, not at my age right now, to get an RV and just travel for 4 or 5 months. I'm more of a, let's get on a daggone train and let's do this in 48 hours. Let's get on another train and do it in 50 hours. And then, we've wrapped the whole thing up 3 days. And you about seen what, I'm not saying you've seen everything, but you've seen
a good swat. You've seen the movie trailer to the United States. You've seen the trailer, not the movie, but you've seen the trailer. So you get to see the high points.
I don't have time or the patience to go through every town in America.
Oh, yeah.
Not now.
No.
Maybe when I get a little bit older, you know what I mean? I got some more stuff I got to do.
But there are some beautiful places in the United States. There's some beautiful places in Europe, Switzerland. I mean, that's...
I've heard that, that's
unbelievable what Switzerland is. It's like Disneyland times 5, and they live that way.
Right.
But the train system over there, if you want to do a hell of a train trip, get in the Swiss train and travel across country. And they're 5-star trains. And the Eurostar, the high-speed rail.
Let me get to Colorado first.
Colorado?
Let me get to
Colorado?
No, I'm playing. Chicago. Wherever.
How about you? Is there anything you want to see? I know you say
I've always wanted to go to. I want to go to New Orleans one time. I love music. I like the blues, and I like all that. I think I'd like it down there.
She likes the food, not just
the French Creole. I mean, you got French in you, so it's going to be. That's what helped to found New Orleans was the French.
Yeah.
And the food is phenomenal.
I've never been, but I'm going. I'm going. And I would love to. I've never been to Las Vegas, but that's iffy for me. I don't really know about that. I'd love to go to and ride the West Coast and do some stuff like that. More so in the United States. I'm not into sitting on a plane 15 hours. No.
The Pacific Coast Highway is a trip that's. We always talk about
Highway 1.
She's been to Switzerland too. On my last tour in Europe, we went through Switzerland. That is magical beyond any belief. I mean, even the Rockies, they're tall, but in Switzerland, you're sitting in a valley with cows, and you look 2 miles this way, and you're up 14,000 feet from the valley. You're just straight up, and they've dug holes. Wow. They dug tunnels through the Alps. Really? The Swiss did 200 years ago and put trains up through there. So you go right up and you walk through a glacier at 14,000 feet, Jungfrau, and the Swiss are tunneling fools. What is there, 600,000 bunkers over there? They have 600, and these bunkers are bigger than these buildings. That was their national defense. Everybody in Switzerland, most everybody in Switzerland owns a machine gun, and they're required to have 1,000 rounds of ammunition. They're all part of the army. Or their national defense, they're all part of the national defense. And so you see 16-year-olds riding down the street on their bicycles going to a shooting range with machine guns on their back. But there's no murders.
Right.
They don't shoot each other. No. But they're
Swiss.
They're Swiss. They make the tiny watches, and I mean they're precise people. But we always talk about if you could see one more thing before you go, would you go back to because she's done both, back to the Pacific Coast Highway or Swiss, and it's always this even toss up. If you've ever been beside a redwood.
No,
trees,
never. I want to do all that.
You talk about
drive the car through.
It's a spiritual moment. Yeah. You see the hair's coming up again. Yeah. It's a spiritual moment because those trees are 2,000 years old. So they were a twig when Christ was. They were a twig, and they're still alive. And the tallest hotel in Myrtle Beach is 225 feet, I believe. Those trees reach 350.
Yeah.
Wow.
and the base of them wouldn't fit in this building.
No.
Right. I've heard that. Yeah.
It's just, you walk up next to one, it's like, I'm not the size of a piece of bark.
Right.
It's that massive. And it's just one after another after another. And it's
You
majestic.
writing all this down?
I already
Writing all
know.
this down where we're going?
And to see the coastline,
I know.
it's a rugged coastline. So it's not, you don't want to, they have big waves, like rolling waves like Hawaii.
Cliffs.
But it's a rugged coastline. It's not one you want to play in because
Right.
even in San Diego, it only gets to 71 degrees, the water. Here we get 86, 87. It's bath water. It's great to play in. Kelp gets running. But the scenery, it's nothing like the East Coast. It's just like every corner you go around, it's like that's a movie poster. Every
Isn't it
corner.
Highway 1 or something like that? Highway
101.
Something like
101. And it is something to see. And you want to spend 4 days driving it because you want to stop. Then you go to the Hearst Castle and all these things. And it's something to see.
that. Yeah. Now, I love the Caribbean and stuff. I love it down there. I wouldn't swear I don't end up leaving and going down there.
Well, it's warm year
All
round.
these places like that. Like,
But I'm like you. I'm more into adventure. I would rather have a pocket full of adventure instead of a pocket full of money.
me too. But it takes money to get adventure.
It takes
too.
money to get the adventure. So I appreciate you coming in, telling the story of a little bit about what Meagan and who she was, and I think she's in a good, positive way. In a sad way, though, it's tragic and sad, but affected the community in a positive way.
Yes.
And there, you could tell when you walked up to the mural, it was something special. And I didn't know the story of Meagan. When I walked there the one time and I seen
I heard you. I heard what
there
you
was
said.
because of the plaque, and then you can tell something special about it. You can tell it's a personal thing.
You said, I don't know.
Emotion.
In your movie, whatever productions you were doing, you said, I don't know what happened to this young lady, but it was tragic. And Shorty's Grill was affiliated with it somehow or another. That's what I think you said. But anyway, yeah, it was tragic. But she was a positive force for this community too.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm sorry about your loss. You've had a couple of them, and you're still going strong, and you can still laugh, and that's a testimony to a great character. And great characters are hard to come by. Especially in these days. They're really hard to come by.
Yeah.
Well, let me say one more thing about the mural, we got off track just talking.
Right.
The mural, if anybody wants to come look at it, it's open to the public. Come take a picture. That's what we put it there for. You know what I mean?
And tag me.
Tag Mama in it, whatever. But every little thing in that thing is a represent. I know we said that, but it represents something in her life. And the love part was the gentleman, and she spoke his name, which it ain't no big deal, but his name was Tim Little. You know what I mean? And people that know him or whatever. But we just didn't want to put it on there like that. But the Lake Meagan was dug in memory of my sister through a friend of my dad's that my dad wanted a pond and he wanted the dirt.
And his
that's just kinda,
stepdaughter danced with Meagan.
yeah, she danced with Meagan, and he come and bought my mom a big old rock that says Lake Meagan. So that's on there, and it's just a lot of little cool vibes that you could get from it, and just let your imagination run wild with it because it's all there. The friend circle was her friend circle.
The Lexus, and he bought her a Lexus.
He bought her a car. When she first turned 15. That's part of and then there's the dance thing, the cheerleading things,
the Duke Children's Circle.
Yeah, that was where she spent a lot of time at. And then the cancer ribbon, they have different colors.
The orange for leukemia.
Osteosarcoma.
I'm sorry, osteo.
Yeah. So that's and then at the bottom we got Mima, which is her grandmother, her mother, which was a big part of our lives. She was the rock when you're talking about a rock. And I just want to tell everybody kind of what it meant. You know what I mean? So
when you said the Friends was her Friends, did she like the show too, Friends?
No, but that's what everybody says. But that's where I got it from because it was just easy to put there.
It was emblematic of what she felt about her friends.
It explained everything, her friends in a circle, and they know who they are.
And she had a dog named Max.
Had a dog named Max. So that's why I was just wanting to tell everybody, whoever watches that it just represents everything in her life. You know what I mean? And
did she like the show Friends, or that was just your interpretation?
Yeah, that was just my interpretation.
Okay.
I don't remember.
Okay.
I just looked for something in Friends, and that's what popped up.
Right.
And I said, how much more simpler? Sometimes simple is more. kind of. You know what I mean?
Well,
and it didn't take up a lot of space, and it was just like, you know. So, but it happened to be the friend symbol, and I didn't even put that all together when I was doing it. And all I did was just write things in there. And I wanted to be, I seen some other stuff. I Googled things, and there was one in Tennessee that the lady did was beautiful. But I was like, you know what? I wanted to be kind of like our own kind of, you know, not disrespecting the lady that did it, but not too artistic, like we're just, you know, everything's just, I wanted to be kind of like a butterfly. You know what I mean? Just kind of float.
And the reason the butterfly came along is, I know you don't remember, you weren't here then, but Bertie Goss used to own Bertie's where 4U is now, which is so ironic because I pulled over to look at the butterfly when she was painting, and it was right in front of her storefront where her daughter got killed here on Main Street when we were young. We were 17. She was a good friend of mine, and she came to me that night when Meagan died, and she said, I said, Meagan just loved butterflies. And she said, if you'll take that butterfly, because it is a symbol of a new beginning, and if you'll take that, it'll go with her the rest of her life. And so I've used that butterfly in so many things.
And we didn't think about this where we wanted to put that mural up until we got the mural up, and then we talking. Mama said it is right in front.
Right in her. I mean, it looks right up her store.
Like that's where her storefront was at. She had like a designer clothing store.
Where was this at?
In front of, like if you're standing in the butterfly wing, just walk straight across the street.
And it's right
the
there.
old 4U building.
They got
the lotions and stuff.
She had both those buildings.
Was at.
That was her store.
Just kind of ironic again.
It's very ironic.
She had a very fancy boutique there.
But she had been through a lot too. That woman's been through a lot. And let me tell you something. She was one of the women that come in there and, honey, everything's gonna be all right.
She was
just like you was talking about George, your Uncle George, or your whatever George.
Yep.
You know, it's just one of them people like, how? You know,
how?
How? You know what I mean? So
did she lose her daughter before you lost?
Oh yeah. We were juniors in high school, and
that was her sister then.
No,
that was her daughter.
Was her daughter.
Miss Birdie's daughter went to school with her.
Went to school with me.
When her daughter died, was that prior to Meagan passing?
Oh yeah. I was still 17.
No. How old was the daughter that died?
She was 17.
Okay, and that's your friend's daughter.
Yeah.
No.
The
Birdie was her friend's mother.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So she was like, you know what I mean? So she was older. Yeah.
Got you.
So Jan was the same age, roughly the same age as mother.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
When she got in the wreck.
Yeah.
And she was right around the same age when Meagan died.
Yeah.
Kind of like, I don't know.
Yeah, it is strange, but to me it's a God thing.
Yes, absolutely.
And Birdie was very godly, very godly woman. Very.
But you did a wonderful job.
I think
with what you did
too.
Because even like the Friends thing, it will make people when they stop and see it. It's like when you see a great piece of art, there's always more to it than just what you're looking at.
Right.
And then that's what makes a great piece of art is you sit there and it has a feeling to it. The butterfly has a feeling to it. It's a beautiful, tragic feeling is what it is. It's beauty and tragedy at the same time. And you can feel it in the painting, right?
Yeah.
But by you just talking about, because we thought that, well, maybe she really liked Friends, the show.
Yeah.
And knowing that it's not makes it even more special.
Yeah.
Because that's your interpretation, which you were her brothers.
Right. That's right.
Or you are
and
her
I wanted
brother.
to design it like a tattoo. Like that's kind of what I wanted. Not really a tattoo, but like how can I put all this life into her as a butterfly? And that was kind of the design. I don't know.
Yeah. And he'd say, Mama helped me remember special things in her life. And we sat down over and over and over and over, writing down things that was in her life. And yeah, he came up with all that. It was pretty good.
Were you the one that came up with the design where someone can stand in front of it with the butterfly?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was you. Okay.
Yeah. So I wanted it to be.
That's sharp.
I wanted it to be where you could.
Nice.
Where you, how tall are you? 6 foot,
6'3", yeah.
6'3", okay. Or a 5 foot girl could go, and it matches up with everything. You could be 10 foot tall.
Even little kids like.
Yeah, even little kids
we talked
work.
about that. I said, whoever designed that, a lot of thought
Well,
went into that
a lot
because
of
you
that
could be any size. We said
a lot of that was my idea,
so far.
But the lady that painted it come up and helped me to push it on along, kind of.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right.
'Cause I'm
She
not
was
a
great,
designer or
too.
nothing, and
She
she
was
was awesome
great.
too. But there's one more thing I want to tell you. We do have stickers made, and I will personally bring you one.
I appreciate
I've got a few more left. I got to get some more made.
I got some at home.
And we would love anybody to come by to get a picture, and get a picture taken, and then come by and get
a sticker.
You know what I mean? And I mean, that's just kind of how we want to just keep going. And we do got to add one more thing on it when she gets ready. But we got to add Dad on there somewhere. You know what I mean? We got to kind of add that to the mural. You know what I mean?
So what would your perspective of adding something for your dad, right off the top of your head?
Right off the top of my head, I would just say Dad. I don't know right now. I thought about it a little
Probably
bit.
a hammer.
A hammer?
Yeah. But,
was he a carpenter too?
No.
Okay.
I want it to be noticeable for everybody just because of what legacy he left here as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, you're still taking that legacy on with the name.
Yeah. And then just doing portraits and stuff is hard. You know, because the space, I mean, I know it's big, but, you know, when you, you know, I don't think it takes much.
Less can be more sometimes.
Less can be more, man. It's just all how you think about it and put it out there. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, and I think people that understand
We
it
do have
understand it.
family on it, though, so that would probably cover him as well.
No, we had family on it, and we added Meemaw to it. So.
Well, they can come in also and get a Meagan sandwich.
That's right.
And that was on the menu before Meagan got
She
sick.
invented that
She
sandwich.
invented that sandwich.
And tell the people what it is.
It's chicken. He wants to do it.
Because it is a mega chicken. It is a grilled chicken
Mega
sandwich
chicken.
with cheese, mushrooms, onions, bacon, lettuce, tomato, mayonnaise, and pickles on a toasted hoagie bun.
And it's good.
And all of it's like melted. It's all grilled onions, grilled mushrooms. It's messy, but it is good.
And you can't eat all of it.
And, you know, I'm the type of person now, when I eat, now I don't care about this. I don't want nobody touching me. I'm done.
It'll get all over.
I want to have it all over.
Yeah,
me, man.
that's
You
the
know,
only way
when
to
it's
eat.
good.
Yeah, it's the only way to eat. That's when you're enjoying your food.
Do you enjoy it? I don't want
And I'll
nobody
tell you,
talking to me. Just eat.
I don't understand, and I never understand people who don't like food. You know, there's people out there that's like, what do you like to eat? It don't matter. It's like, I don't even know what kind of animal that is. It comes from a different wolf pack. I don't know what it is. But we probably had that sandwich then. Because
Probably
I remember
have.
having one with bacon and chicken.
Well, I'm going to
and
get your number before I leave, and I'm going to surprise
Okay.
y'all, too, with a mega chicken sandwich.
And
and
onion rings.
2 big onion rings, and y'all can munch on them for during the day and save it to the next. It's all. And let me tell you something. You know you got some good food whenever it's 2 or 3 hours and it's still good.
Yes.
I'll tell you what my son said one time. He said, Dad, because, you know, going through health and stuff, sometimes people get, you know, they get lost a little bit and they mess up, and it's normal. You know what I mean?
Right.
And we have customers, love them to death. But let me tell you something. When you mess up, oh, man. You know, they just, you know, because they feel like they own the place because they've been there so long. Right. But he said, Daddy, you know you got good food. He said, when you mess it up and you make a mistake, and the damn thing's still good. It's still good.
That's a commercial right there, what you just did.
So one more thing I want to tell you.
He's an actor.
My son,
I know
my
he is.
oldest son,
He'd be good in a movie.
was born a month after my sister died.
1 month.
So we're talking about this all. It's just a surreal.
He
man.
was
You know
so
what I mean?
aggravating to Meagan, though. And I mean, he was a teenager and a boy and an alpha male. And she was like, you know, I hope that baby's born with freckles and wears glasses. And I do pray he plays the piano. Just so
I said, well, he'll tote the damn thing.
Does he have freckles?
No, he's
Okay.
got
He did
angel
get
dust.
so- he-
He's got
Angel
angel
dust.
dust. We
Yeah,
call it
he-
angel
Well, still a
dust.
little bit of
Yeah,
Yeah,
right?
I
So-
said, oh my God, he's got.
But he favors my sister so much, man.
Yeah.
It's unreal.
I was going to
Yeah.
say, do you see any spiritual
What?
thing like?
And his little baby girl,
He's so
he just
good.
had Stormy, is, I don't know, man. We could talk for days. I had to come up here one time and talk to you.
Well,
Now,
you
it,
know
ain't
what?
all about, it ain't all about my family, but when they had the gender reveal for Stormy, her name was Stormy. That's what they wanted to name her.
No,
And let me tell you,
they did not. They were going to name her daggone, what was it they were going to name her?
anyway, when the gender reveal come, it was a beautiful day, cloudy, thunder
Storm
rolls,
came.
lightning. And we turned on our fountain. That's how we done the gender reveal. We turned on our fountain, whatever color it was supposed to be. None of us knew except our neighbor. And it was just like, as soon as it happened, it was just like a roaring, not in a bad, not in
Thunder,
a scary
lightning,
way.
storm.
But her name was Stormy. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it was like Meagan just said, you know, and then I don't know.
I said, her name has to
And
be
then she looks a lot
Stormy.
like Meagan.
Yeah.
And she looks a lot like her mother, but you know how babies transition. But I don't know.
It's crazy.
It's been awesome. I mean, it's been.
Well, we've had a good time. Hey, I want to
Thank you.
personally invite you both to come to Memory Lane and see
Come out and take some
our
pictures
little
and come out and see us,
Ponderosa.
and we'll
Out,
carry you.
out to your
it's-
farm?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd
Yeah.
love to.
Yes.
it's-
Yeah.
it's
We would
a-
love for you to
it's a
come.
We
big-
would love to.
Yes. I'll get your number after the show.
Yeah, yeah.
Because we do have some dogs that we got.
Yeah, our
that get
dogs
locked
are
up.
big.
What kind of dogs you got?
German
Shepherd.
Shepherds.
Oh God.
And they're
I had-
wonderful
I had-
dogs.
no, I
but
had-
they
I-
are
th-
protective.
That was my best buddy.
There was
And
Shorty.
we're getting ready to get another one.
Really?
And it's going to be over here. I mean, we're going to bring it to work. We're going to bring it with us. But German Shepherds is my favorite.
Shorties too, and that
And
was his
they're
baby.
just
It's all
so
we've
we're
ever had.
it'll be a female. Already got the name. Everything's ready to go. So we just got to pull the lever and get one. But that is my favorite. They're almost human.
Yeah, man.
They understand
they
what you're
freaky crazy.
thinking. No,
Like,
they understand
you know,
what you're
yes.
thinking.
And you can, I mean, it's just like
Those dogs-
their information that they pass to each other is like they're brothers.
Yeah.
It's just unheard. It's just
And
weird.
they
Are
really
they
had a
black
hard.
and tan?
Yes.
One of them smut black. We have three.
Have
But after Shorty died, they went up here mourning. I mean, they knew.
They do.
And they're very protective over me
Yeah.
now. Ugh. They about knocked me down and
Do
everything.
do they corral you?
Yes.
Yes. Well, they heard you, but no, they're German Shepherds are special dogs, and I've had some other dogs, but and I love them too, but that's your war buddy. That's the one that's in
they
the trenches
different
with
breed,
you.
man.
They're-
Yeah.
they're in the
I
trenches
call
with
them
you.
my beast.
Your beast, yes, but they are. But we're soon.
Yeah.
And she just said, what did you say on that video the other day, Heather? We were doing a short one for the internet. She said if we get, and I didn't know she was going to say it. She goes, if we get 10,000 likes on this, he said he'd buy me the Shepherd now. So I said I didn't hear that coming, but yeah, I'll agree to that. But anyway, it's they're special dogs. So
Yeah.
what's their names?
Mojo and Cujo
And
Okay.
and
Bozo.
Bozo.
Okay, do they fit their names?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cujo's the killer.
Cujo is the one that
That will eat you?
Yes.
And Bozo is just a little meek mob.
But yeah, he's coming out of his shell a lot though.
Well, I'll be
But the brothers is the problem. But it's all because of
male.
yes, and they don't. We've
And
never
who's-
had them cut. We never had them done anything, and it's like their animosity is towards each other, not you.
Yeah.
But people don't realize that. And as soon as you turn around and run, you that's the
They're
wrong
The
thing to
old
do.
rule when
And
having
they're
multiple
very
dogs,
competitive, Mojo.
Yeah.
they're brothers.
Yes.
The old rule, since they're brothers, is going to happen. But the old rule when you have multiple dogs is never have two males. You have one male and several females, but you cannot have multiple because it's whose territory. is it?
Dominance. Yeah.
Whose
Yeah.
territory?
That's what they do. They'll watch each other, and it's all about them two. It's not about what you're doing. But you happen to be in the middle of it. I'm just saying, you know what I mean? But that's all it is. You can watch them. As soon as they come off the porch, they'll stop and want to stop. And the one to go, it's like they just compete with each other. You know what I mean?
So yeah, no, we'd be more than happy to come.
Oh, we'd
love
love
for
for
you
you
to.
to.
Thank you.
I will put the dogs up.
Oh, I'd still like to pet one of them. What if the friendly one, Bozo?
They all friendly.
Okay.
Out there. Yeah,
Okay.
you're fine.